time to yap. Before I hop on Monster Hunter, and hopefully I get a new game that I like, that's actually popular, that I can spend 1,000 million quintillion hours on. But before we talk about a popular game that I done spent a bunch of hours on, let's talk about a game that's popular. It's a very well-known franchise, but it's not so popular right now currently, called Injustice as a franchise. Now, with Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, dropping, being the biggest fighting game stinker of the year, probably the damn decade so far, I'm hoping to get a new Injustice game or something like that, and to get some actually fucking fire game. Now, I hope them dickheads at what greedy bitch ass niggas actually learn that we don't like the over monetization shit they tried to pull. Maybe they don't. Hopefully, they don't try and make you pay for every single piece of gear or no dumb shit like that. But this is like the third time I've heard actual Injustice 3 rumors. Maybe there's something to it now. Because the last couple times I didn't put it in the stream notes or nothing like that. Because I didn't think it was nothing substantial. But I've seen a couple other things. And now I'm seeing this. Maybe there's something in the works. Because like, usually when it comes to a game cycle on a game that's about to come out, or a game that's like in the works about to come out pretty soon, usually the way it works is when it's in production, pre-production, pitching type phases, you'll hear rumors about it. And like you'll hear a rumor now, 6 months from now, you'll hear another rumor. After that rumor, another 6 months to a year after that, you'll hear another rumor. And it'll be a lot more space in between the rumors. But now I'm hearing it a little bit more often. And now we're at the point to where it's a rumor. Next month, it's another rumor. Month after that, it's another rumor. 2 months, another rumor. Then soon it's going to start getting to the point to where every week we got a rumor about Injustice. Then every day, then it's finally going to get announced. And then the internet's really going to go crazy. But I saw this article, which is not necessarily a rumor. It's more so talking about something that they think could be a change. But let's see what they're talking about. No, fuck Mortal Kombat 1. Not reading nothing that contains a paragraph that got to talk about this shit, Mortal Kombat 1. While a return to the Injustice series could give NetherRealm the smash hit it needs following MK1, MK1 was a flop, but it was a flop for Mortal Kombat. It wasn't a flop, period. Like, for a WB game, Mortal Kombat 1, to my knowledge, didn't flop. It just flopped for a Mortal Kombat game, and the quality and the standard that we hold NetherRealm up to, they didn't really meet that. Following that piece of shit game, the developers couldn't rest on his laurels with the hypothetical third entry of Injustice. Injustice 3 would need to improve and innovate on what came before it, including adding a fucking button to block it. That is my number one thing I hate about Injustice. I hate that how do I accidentally press record every time I smack my desk? But everything about Injustice is fucking perfect, except the fact that you have to hold back to block. That's the only thing about Injustice that pisses me off. Because legitimately, I like the way that it plays. I like everything about it. I like the system. The speed of it feels right. The way that the game combos just feels gorgeous. But god damn it, do I hate having to press. Like, any game where I have to press one of these, one of the directional inputs, hold this to block, I automatically just like it less. Even if it would otherwise be like it less. Perfect example, Injustice. But actually reading what they said, Injustice 3 would need to improve and innovate on what came before, including bringing a handful of new mechanics and features to the table. I don't know about a handful. Only mechanic. Sorry about that. Only mechanic they need to bring to the table is holding back the block. I'm mad that I yawned in y'all ear, but fuck it, we balls no sack. There's one staple MK. Okay, what is it? Should incorporate less violent finish. I'm really mad I clicked on this article, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all might have to suffer with me. I might just have to clickbait y'all. If I had to suffer some bullshit, do some bullshit like that, I might have to do it too. Now, I find that I frequently say this, right? Basically, every year, every couple of years, there's always a game that for one reason or another, the internet collectively gets together and says, we're going to make fun of this game. The game for this year that the internet decided to collectively make fun of in a way that it didn't deserve it. And I'm not counting the weirdo go woke, go broke niggas. No, I'm not counting them. But like the game that everybody universally go woke, go broke or not made fun of that didn't deserve it, because Suicide Squad deserved it. That didn't deserve it was fucking Concord. Last year it was Forspoken. Everybody swore to God the voice acting was cringe. And I was sitting there like, you niggas ain't voice actors. You niggas never done voice acting or voice work at all. Shut the fuck up, number one. Number two, shit sounds fine to me. Like, not everything gotta be great god tier Oscar bait, The Last of Us 2 as everything. Like, bro, not everything has to be like that. But you need, a lot of you niggas have small, tiny rat poison brains that only play Call of Duty, Fortnite. So when you play something different, it's the greatest thing to ever touch mankind. Anyway, in 2019, the punching bag of the year, the niggas are making this seem worse than it really is. Oh shit, y'all couldn't hear the music the whole time. Hold on. The fuck? Oh! Okay, I have my headphones plugged into the wrong thing, y'all. Sorry for the quietness, but fuck it. Like I said, we balls no sat. All right, but like I was saying, in 2019, the game of the punching bag of the year was Anthem. Now, I never personally brought Anthem, but when they had a couple free weekends, I played the fuck out of it. I played it a lot on those couple of free weekends that they had it, and I was sitting there like, you know what? I don't know why people is making fun of this game. People were saying this game is ass, that this game has bad systems, and this and that. And I'm like, everybody's just calling this game shit just to say, shit just for views and clicks or something. Cause the actual gameplay, you know, the reason why niggas play games was actually, well, the reason why niggas is supposed to be playing games is actually fun. So what the fuck is everybody talking about? But let's read these key takeaways. A former Anthem producer is interested in a reboot due to the game's untapped potential and diehard fan base. I'm not gonna lie. Embrace the marketing. A way that people would market this game to their friends is they would basically say, you're essentially playing as Iron Man. What y'all need to do, don't make Anthem 2, don't make Anthem update, don't reboot Anthem, don't make Anthem continuation. That name already has a lot of bad connotations connected to it. What y'all need to do is y'all need to go to Marvel, show them Anthem's gameplay. Fuck the story, fuck the fact that it doesn't have content, blah, blah, blah. Show them Anthem's gameplay and say, look, we want to use and implement and incorporate the Iron Man IP into this in some way, shape, or form. People who are playing this game, we never said a goddamn thing about Iron Man, and everybody's saying this would feel great as some type of Iron Man related game, right? Let us use your IP and incorporate it in some way and make an Iron Man game. Whether they make a single player Iron Man game, which I hope they don't make the fucking mistake of doing that, but like make an Iron Man type game where, I don't know, you're enacting an armor wars and you got to fight against other robots or something. Like they could workshop that idea. I'm not a game dev. I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying. Make a game where you can play as Tony Stark, maybe Rhodey or some shit like that, and you can actually play as Iron Man. That's what y'all should do. Y'all shouldn't bring this game back. Don't reboot this game. Too much of a negative connotation to this goddamn. Too much of a negative connotation attached to Anthem. And diehard fan base. I'm not gonna say everybody hated Anthem, but diehard is a fucking reach. Anthem was ultimately abandoned after failing to meet EA's expectations and receiving negative reviews. Yeah, it was critically panned. Even though, like I said, wasn't that bad, it was critically panned. And this was around, Anthem showed me that the internet and creators on the internet now have the serious ability to impact sales on a massive level. Because like before, stuff like Anthem and stuff and Fortnite and stuff like that, if you made a YouTube review saying a game was bad, Like, nobody cared. Niggas was still gonna buy the game. It was rare that people watched game reviews. And if they did, like, that was back when the average gamer was more informed. So they didn't just watch your one review. They watched 10 reviews in a row. But now we're to a point to where some people feel so pressed to come up with ideas for content. They're scrambling and doing any old damn thing they could think of, because there's a lot of people that depend on content to like pay their bills and put food on their table, to the point to where they'll pimp out their platform just for a quick buck, because they stomach grumbling a little bit because they didn't make as much as they thought they would last month. And the thing about that is, you can't trust those type of people who are giving bad faith opinions, because they're just gonna tell you. It's like going to a bad car salesman. They're going to tell you whatever you want to hear to make you sign a dotted line. Like, oh, this is the best car. Like, oh yeah, this is not a sports car, but is this car that was clearly built in America? Yeah, it was built overseas. People overseas, them little, you know how they be saying in the commercials that the rich white people use the cars made by like the little insert Asian race kids, little hands touching the car and fixing it up. Yeah, this was on one of those assembly lines for one of the good ones. Yeah, you driving this shit, you gonna look fly. Like, people might say it looked like a regular ass minivan, but then all you gotta do is tell them the brand of the car and pronounce it this type of way, and it's gonna look fire. Meanwhile, it's a regular ass American car. You just don't know what the fuck you're doing in terms of buying a car, so you're just going with anything the nigga say because he doing anything to get a sale. There's a lot of creators that are like that, and you got to be able to tell the difference. Now, it's a bunch of shit I could tell you, a bunch of advice and stuff like that I could tell you, but sometimes there are games that are legitimately just ass, and there are games that people are just shitting on for a quick buck. Like I said, this year's example, Concord was a 6 out of 10, a 7 out of 10. But here's the thing about when you say 6 out of 10 nowadays, and this is why whenever I rank games, I always rank it by don't buy this shit, wait till it goes on sale, buy it right now, you won't regret paying full price and paying it day one. Because when you say, like, most people's brains, if you say anything under than a 7 out of 10, you're saying the game is ass. And in a real bad case, if you say 7 or lower, you're saying the game is terrible, piece of shit game you should never buy. But sometimes you'll play something that somebody else called a 6 out of 10. Somebody else say, oh, it's not that good, I didn't like it that much. And you'll play it and be like, wow, this is great. This is the most amazing thing ever. This feels fun to me. So reviews aren't supposed to be law. Reviews aren't supposed to be, this is what the game is. The game is a 6 out of 10. Everybody said it's about a 6 out of 10. It's a 6 out of 10. I ain't gonna enjoy it. Then you fuck around and play it, and like I said, you might actually enjoy it. So reviews are supposed to be a starting point to see how much up to your expectations this game is meeting. That's what a review is supposed to do. Review is supposed to arm you with information for you to make the best choice you could possibly think of. A review is not an end all be all. Even for me, never should be, never will be, and never should be considered as that, right? But it's so much deeper I could get into the topic, but I'm getting off track. Anthem producer wants to reboot the game. While BioWare has moved on to other games like Dragon Age of Veilguard, fans may still hope for an Anthem reboot. Please make it an Iron Man game. Like I said, we always skip the first paragraph or the first couple paragraphs because usually that's tag stuffing and bloating so they can get better results on Google when you search up the topic. One of the Anthem producers, Ben Irving, has recently expressed interest in working on a reboot of the game. Well, yeah, if that's your baby, of course you're gonna want to make a reboot of the game. Oh yeah, Crystal Dynamics. I stand on what the fuck I say. Avengers was another game that was a 6 out of 10 that got punched on. Avengers wasn't that damn bad. Now, yes, it didn't work on launch, and I can understand the frustration behind that. And I'll never back the horse of a game releasing broken can be a good game. To me, if you release your game broken, I'm sorry, but you'll never get past the 8 in my book. Cyberpunk, I haven't finished it, but the day where I do get throw away a spare PC money and I play Cyberpunk, maybe it'll be a fucking 12 out of 10 game. But because they released the shit broken, I personally will never give you an 8 out of 10 because no matter what the factors are, you released a broken game. At the end of the day, I'm a consumer, and my job as a consumer is not to just buy every fucking thing I see. My job as a consumer to say, where can I get the most bang for my buck? And if you have a product that can give me bang for my buck, but you release it in a bad state to where I can't get the bang for my buck that I should be getting because you fucked up an otherwise great idea, I gotta hold you responsible by not buying your shit. Anyway, like I said, same thing with Crystal Dynamics when they made Avengers. Avengers was a 6 out of 10. Everybody punched on it. You could clearly tell that the reason why that game even got a 6 out of 10 was because of bad corporate interference. But let's read on. He said that it's amazing how many people are still so enthusiastic about Anthem. Yeah, Anthem is one of those, like I'm gonna keep saying, Anthem is one of those when you ain't got a bitch in your ear going, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's bad, that's the worst fucking game ever, you're playing this piece of shit game, oh my god, why would you play this bullshit, fuck this goddamn game, this game is actually not that bad. And there's a legitimate community of people that enjoy Anthem, especially after it's been patched, and especially the fact that, like I always say, most people aren't really gaming enthusiasts. Most people are social setting enthusiasts, and the game is a medium to be that social setting, and Anthem is a co-op game. So it's a cool game for people to go, oh, I heard this game was bad a while ago, and I got me and my buds, we like playing video games, and we got some extra money, so fuck it, let's throw it at Anthem and see if this shit is really as bad as people said it was. Play it co-op. And to my knowledge, the servers and stuff for this game are still up. So yeah. In the comments of Irving's post, several fans of BioWare's multiplayer role-playing game agreed, arguing that Anthem suffered from a short development cycle, which is true, and the game had the potential to be great, which is also true, because I played it like late 2019, 2020 sometime, whenever it released, when they had them free weekends. And like I said, wasn't a bad game to me. Arguing that Anthem suffered from a short development cycle, that the game had the potential to be great. However, it was not supported for enough time. Yeah, it only got support for like a year. And Anthem ended as a live service game that died too soon. That was also another big downside as Anthem. It shouldn't have been treated like a live service game. It should have been treated like a what you call it? It should have been treated like a live service game. It should have been treated like a game with a co-op mode. And they should have focused more on the co-op mode than the live service aspect of it, because they were trying to charge people for skins and the game wasn't even fucking out yet. But like, they had the infrastructure there to charge people for skins and the game wasn't out yet. Like at that time they were trying to focus more on that than like actually making a game good. But the thing about it is, they did make a good game, but the fact that they were trying to make it live service is one of the like negative things that stood in the way of it being a successful franchise, and just piled on it and dragged it down deep into the metaphorical quicksand. What did he say? It's amazing how many people, okay, same quote as above. This is not the first time that somebody's expressed interest in making a new Anthem. In 2023, for example, Lamentic, 15 months, which, yeah, is not common for a game of such a large scope, number one, because usually even games like Call of Duty, where they're just Control-C, Control-V, the same fucking thing every year, usually those take about 2-3 years in development, right? So even a game where they Control-C, Control-V take a year in development, 15 months is a crazy short amount of time. That's not, for the size and the scope that they wanted Anthem to be, and the fact that they wanted it to be a live service game that had a price tag on it, wasn't gonna work, which is not common for a game of large scope. Anthem 2, no, please don't do Anthem 2. Please go get a license from Marvel and make it an Iron Man game. Please don't dig yourself a hole like that. Could be great, but it never had a chance to exist. While it's not entirely, is this the last paragraph? Okay, that's the last paragraph. Yeah, I mostly pretty much said my piece, but just to reiterate, if there is another game that uses Anthem's gameplay, please make it an Iron Man game. Please do not make an Anthem 2. Anthem 1 has a negative connotation that's going to be real hard to shake and shimmy off unless you wait a really, really long time. And it's funny because I wasn't even paying attention when I organized my articles today. I more or less put them in a random order. But it's funny that we're talking about a game from a studio that got punched on unfairly to another game that got punched on unfairly. Concord. So I just found this. And look, this came out 1:56 p.m. Usually when I get most of my articles, it's in the gym in the morning when I'm doing my biking for stamina and whatnot, that I find each article. That's why if y'all pay attention in my streams, a lot of the articles that I read are published in the morning. Because, I mean, like when you read them, the date at the top, it usually says that it's published in the morning. And that's why. So right before stream, I was just going through my Twitter notifications, just looking at some stuff while I was doing some things in the background, like my computer loading some things on the background, because it takes about 10 minutes for me to get everything set up to start stream to make sure everything is all right. And I saw this and I was like, oh, God damn it. Sony is shutting down Firewalk Studios, the maker of Concord. Now, the reason why this is saddening to me is because Firewalk Studios was in existence. They only ever had one game. That one game they did have, because by the way, Concord did not die, it was killed. They only had one game. That one game that they did have, admittedly, was overdeveloped. It was in development for way too fucking long. So not only did they only produce one game, they released that game based on a trend that was long gone. They tried to make it live service with a paywall in an era where all these niggas' brains is fried, and the average person who would want to play this type of game is not paying $40 for it. And I would argue if the game was free, these niggas still wouldn't play it. But anyway, then on top of that, people swear to God they're art critics. They don't like the designs. It's really just the fact that the designs are first. And then 5, like, this game had a hate campaign on it, in terms of like a hate campaign of people being mad that there were black characters and stuff like that. And then a hate campaign in terms of people posting screenshots showing only 600 people playing on Concord, that at peak 600 people was playing on Concord. Then at one point, for like 4 days straight, most of the people playing Concord weren't even playing through the matches. They were just jumping off the edge of the screen to try and get more XP quicker. So it's like this game had nothing but negatives. This studio had nothing but negatives. Then it comes out that the person who was the CEO of the studio was toxically positive. He could do no wrong. His shit couldn't stink. He couldn't make a bad game if he tried. It's just so many downsides and negatives and L's that these motherfuckers took that just isn't fair. It isn't fair to them, but it is what it is. This studio cost Sony a lot of goddamn money. Regardless of what happened, this studio cost Sony a lot of goddamn money. And when I seen this earlier, the first thing I seen was this tweet under it that made it even fucking worse. So Concord, there's this TV franchise series, whatever the hell you want to call it, called what the fuck is the name of that show? What is the name of that goddamn show? Oh, Secret Level. So there's a show named Secret Level that, long story short, is an anthology series that has a bunch of video games in it. And this person was bringing up what happens to the Concord specific episode. Then what makes it even fucking worse is I scrolled down in the comments and I seen these 2 comments. I'm gonna read them out to you. Then I'm gonna talk about it. It's funny to me that Concord is going to have its own episode. By the way, this episode was made before Concord came out. This episode was made before Concord was even fucking done. And for those of you who just know about Concord as the corpse we stomp and spit on for 2024 that didn't deserve it, Concord was planning to every week release a new cutscene that gives you a little bit more story about the characters. So that was a thing they were going to do. And this Secret Level joint was supposed to connect into that story. Now, whether it was going to be canon or just references, I don't know, and we may never know because the fucking studio got shut down, so they're never making shit again. Sadly, I'm looking forward to the Matt McMuscles video, not because he's a bad creator or anything, but for the simple fact, every time a game studio dies, he's gonna make a video about it. Anyway, to read in the comments. It's so funny to me that Concord is going to have its own episode whilst Helldivers 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and God of War have to share an episode. Sony really had a lot of faith in Concord, Lamau, which is very, very true. And to me, I didn't even know this. Now, Helldivers sharing an episode, whatever. That one, I'm not too surprised about. That one's not too crazy. But Ghost of Tsushima and God of War? God of War for sure really takes me aback. It's like, y'all had God of War as essentially a PlayStation exclusive since PS1, PS2. So it's like making that making that share an episode with Ghost of Tsushima and Helldivers, when for every major console since at minimum the PS2, that game has been a console pusher, or like a I'm blanking out on a term, but basically one of the games that if you have a PlayStation, there's a high chance that you got this game. One of those type of games. God of War been like that for the PlayStation, for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PSP, PS Vita. I'm tired. PS Vita, PS4, PS5, like for every major PlayStation console, especially since the 2. God of War, the God of War franchise has been a main game you had to get. So for that to share an episode with Ghost of Tsushima and Helldivers, 2 games that aren't 5 years old, crazy to me. The franchise and neither one of these games is more than 5 years old. Because I think Helldivers 1 came out, I don't remember the exact date, but I know it wasn't that long ago. Let's see. 1 release date. Oh shit. I stand corrected. But even still, nigga, God of War was like 5-6 years in the game when Helldivers 1 came out. So again, my point still stands. The game that is wildly more popular and been a top tier console purchase for every one of your major consoles up to now has to share an episode with Helldivers and Ghost of Tsushima. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is new. First one came out in 2020. Helldivers, nobody knows about the first one. Helldivers 2 came out this year. So for them two to have to share an episode makes sense. But God of War? That one fried me. And then another thing I saw that makes this even more sad is either gets canceled, which if the episode is already done, they're not fucking canceling it, or sets a record for the fastest lost media. What y'all got to say? I might be able to agree, because honestly speaking, if this episode does come out, people in the future who watch this TV show, it's gonna be real fucking hard to understand what the hell Concord is and what the context is behind these characters. And like I said, I'm excited for a secret level. I can't wait for it to come out, but god damn. Concord continues to get their lifeless corpse stomped on and spit on in a manner that I personally think is unfair and unjust. But going from something that has a corpse that was unjustly stomped and spit on, something that has a corpse but isn't spit on enough, in my opinion. Multiverses made by greedy bitch ass niggas. Now I really just wanted to go over this title, and I'm gonna skim through the article a bit, but it says multiverses may have a meta problem. Now, for those of you who aren't in the FGC that much, you may be confused by what they mean by a meta problem. Basically, meta means the way that the best characters in the game and the way that the game is played. For example, it's meta. Actually, let me look up meta definition. Search meta FGC. Okay, meta is an acronym for most effective tactics available. So, for example, picking the best character in a game, most effective tactic available, picking the best character. Now, let's say the best way to play with the best character is to sit in a corner and camp. So the meta for once you pick that character is to sit in a corner and camp. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, multiverses had a meta problem because a lot of multiverses meta is based off of either extremely broken glitches, them reneging and going back on design choices they purposely made and undoing everything they did. Let me take my hand from out that formation for a nigga screenshot to show the wrong thing. And then thirdly, every single time they drop a new character in multiverses, and under a week people found a fucking infinite with that character. Also, Iron Giant. Just, if you don't know how broken Iron Giant was, I'll explain to you like this. Imagine a character so broken that in the beta, you had to take them out the game and make them unplayable for a while because they were so broken before you put them back in the game. Just to take the game offline, to finish it, put it back out as a full game, and then that very same character that you adjusted the toolkit for to make them not broken, you now have to do all that over again. So it was a lot of wild, wonky, wacky stuff like that in multiverses, so that every time like we played multiverses, it was just like, especially if he was going online, it was double like skip the first paragraph. Developers that play it first generally have left multiverse large-scale balancing generally left their large-scale balancing to 2 patches a season. Okay, I know that. Banana Guard has been dominating since season 3's mid-season. Yeah, he's a joke character that nobody asked for, number one. And number two, not only is he the joke character that nobody asked for, he's one of undebatably the top 5 characters in the game after they done nerfed his ass twice. I'm a big believer in, if you nerf a character twice and the character is still broken, your whole balancing team needs to be restructured. Because it's like, bro, how you nerf a character to hell twice and they're still amazingly good? That's a problem. What else they got? Why Banana Guard is unhealthy for multiverses? Yeah, because everybody wants to look at a multiverses tournament in the first place. Number one. Number two, everybody that looks at a multiverses tournament just would love to see the same character, which is a character they don't know and they might recognize as a background character from Adventure Time. Not any one of their favorite characters like Shaggy, Powerpuff Girls, Wonder Woman. Not any popular characters that they like that. A random character in the background that rarely appears named Banana Goddamn Guard. There's not much to this article. It's just mostly them talking about how fucking broken Banana Guard is. Is this a new article or is this older? I didn't even check the date. Okay, it's a new article. So yeah, they got a Banana Guard problem. They need to nerf him. They really need to nerf him. But the thing is, I don't know if there's a way to nerf Banana Guard without completely getting rid of his toolkit. Okay, this article is extremely short, so like I said, I'm gonna always skip the first paragraph or first couple paragraphs, but I will read from the second one onward. The new update includes a feature called Jump Back In, like to Xbox Online, which was tested back in May as part of a Game Pass tab experience. Ooh, so they're getting better with their game streaming experience. Because Xbox game streaming was a thing all the way back in like, I really want to say 2016, but I could surely, like with my whole chest, say about 2018-ish till now. So, and Xbox have by far had the best game streaming software I've seen out of every console, every streaming service and whatnot. Like, remember Google Stadia, however the fuck you pronounce it? They have better game streaming than literally Google. So this app I already know is good. And then the jump back in feature was already something you could do on console. Now I'm curious. I wonder if this game actually cloud uploads the save state of your game or if it just goes to the nearest save. This feature shows the last 9 games played in compact mode, letting players go to any game card which pulls up the games, blah blah blah. As overscrolled. As for other features, part of the home screen will now show a feature content that includes new updates, blah blah blah. Promo, don't care. Deals and discounts, don't care. Xbox has received a steady flow of updates in the past year. In June, an update let players have more personalization options for backgrounds, such as simultaneously having both dynamic and game art ones. What? Oh, dynamic for like it's like themes on PlayStation basically. So I want to say my whole thoughts on this is, I thought it was going to be something more significant, but I think this jump back in feature is really cool. I want playing games and stuff like that to be more accessible and available to the average person as a gamer. Like, as somebody who understands other people's situations. But as somebody who's a gamer, and I enjoy high quality games. And any industry, and this is not just something for gaming, this is economics 101. When you don't have competition, or you feel like you don't have competition, there's nothing incentivizing you to not be lazy. So for example, we'll use shit BA shit K. Basically, there will never be another realistic basketball sim game able to compete with NBA 2K on its level, and even if it does, they'll just be seen as 2K at home. NBA Live. They'll just be seen as 2K at home. So it's a really hard space to compete in. But the thing about that is, another reason why they have no competition is because technically they're a video game. Now, how does that relate to this? What I want to say is 2K, every year they release fucked up broken games with fucked up broken servers, broken builds, and all this other shit. They're releasing the same game, Control C, Control V, every year. They're holding back the graphics because they're too scared to not put the game on PS4 for all you PS4 using ass niggas who can't take that $2,000 you spending in VC. Got your girlfriend yelling at you, throwing peanut butter jelly sandwiches at you, saying why you ain't got $30 and shit, when you could drop 10 bands, 2 bands, however many bands on 2K with the game only being out for 50 fucking days, not even 2 months. Instead of saving up that money and getting a newer console, or getting something that could like stream games from a newer console so that these developers can push the upper limits of these games, you stay on PS4 and Xbox. That shit need to be set under the sun. That shit need to be sunset, boy. The thing I like about this is more people have access to the game, but I want it to be more competition. Cause 2K, they're lazy. If Xbox or PlayStation ever feel like they don't have any competition, then they'll start to get lazy, then we'll get worse quality games. So as somebody who understands the situation of a gamer, it's like, look, I want everybody to play great games, good games, and have an amazing time. But I also want there to be console competition so that no one person gets lazy and just says, fuck it, we'll ball. They're gonna buy it anyway, so whatever. Moving on from that. Where's my water also? Oh yeah,